Well, welcome everybody. Happy summer. I know a lot of people are either on holiday, going on holiday, coming back from holiday. I'm getting ready to head out tomorrow myself. So I think, it just tis the season, kind of enjoying the last little bit of summer before school starts in the near future. So just wanted to welcome everybody this month. Thank you guys for joining. If you have not officially signed up, for the Women in Teams group. I'm going to drop the link for that in the chat. So if for whatever reason this got forwarded to you or you grabbed it from somewhere else, please make sure to sign up for the Teams community. Once you do that, you should receive an invitation to the Women in Teams team that lives in the Microsoft Community tenant, which then should give you everything you need to participate in this with no problems. And then in addition to that, we also do have some community groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. And thanks to Rachel and her amazing social media skills, this gets promoted all over the place every month. So just a quick thank you to the committee for helping with everything and keeping this running. And this month we have a fabulous speaker, and I'm excited to have her here. So I'm honestly going to hand this over. I don't really have anything specific other than to welcome you all. Make sure that you guys feel free to network if you have access to the chat. Share your social media or LinkedIn profiles to connect to everybody. And if you have any questions or need anything, just post it in the chat. Otherwise, it's all yours, Ume.
Thanks, Sharon. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, and it's so great to meet all of you or virtually meet all of you. My name is Ume. Let me share my screen. Thank you again for having me. I'm very excited to speak on this topic. I don't know how many of you work in tech or want to work in tech. Hopefully, a number of you. 1 second. Can everyone see my screen? I can't see anyone's face. If I can get like a yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing. Okay. Well, I just wanted to thank you all again for joining. My name is Ume, and I am excited to talk to you all today about finding your perfect place in tech. So just to kind of introduce myself, like I said, my name is Ume. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. That's where I'm calling in from today. And I studied information and computer sciences at the University of Maryland. And I'm currently a full stack software engineer. I work as a backend engineer intern at Microsoft, actually. So I love the company. I love everything that they do. And I love the work that I do. I am going to be talking a little bit about my own tech journey today. And the reason I'm going to be doing that is because I've done a lot of random things in my life. I've done so much, and a lot of it, I didn't end up pursuing. Other things I ended up diving deeper into. And I feel like I took away a lot from those experiences that made me end up where I ended up today, which is at Microsoft on a back-end engineering team. And I don't think, and I think if it weren't for a lot of those experiences, I don't think I would have ended up where I'm at today. So to kind of rewind back to sixth grade, this is when I got my first sense of, what computer science was and what coding was. This is when I first learned how to code via Code Academy. I don't know how many people here know what Code Academy is or if they've heard about Code Academy, but my brother introduced me to this Python course, and I instantly fell in love. I was always someone who loved math growing up. I thought that I would be a mathematician. After graduating college, I thought I was going to go into the maths, but something that I always enjoyed was also utilizing my creative brain. I loved, I always had this creative side to me that I didn't feel like fit in well with this math savvy side that I really was passionate about. So with coding, I felt like I was able to create things with numbers. I was able to make things work with numbers, with math. And to me, that was really cool because I could create things, use my creative side, but also utilize my math side and help grow that part of my passion. So my brother actually served as one of my very first mentors in tech. He had a very untraditional path into tech as well. He graduated with a degree in biology, and now he's a software engineer. So he told me if I, if this is something that I truly wanted to do, that I could do it. And I was very grateful to have him be one of those very first mentors in my life and be there to encourage me. So then after middle school, after I started really, getting into coding, I went to high school, and I actually went to a magnet high school. And for those who are unfamiliar with what a magnet high school is, it's a regular high school, except you take an extra course that is intended to be your major of study. So if anyone can guess what mine was information technology. So when I applied for this major, I thought it was going to be more of what I was doing on Code Academy. I thought it would be, everything coding related. And spoiler alert, it wasn't. Instead, it was focused on learning all about networking, specifically Cisco networking and cybersecurity for 4 years. And one of the, like, when I was going through those courses in high school, I remember I would dread that course every single time I had to go in, because I just didn't enjoy networking. I didn't enjoy cybersecurity. I wanted to code, but I don't ever say that I regretted that experience, because at the end of the day, I did learn a lot. And the biggest thing that I learned was that I never wanted to touch another router or a switch ever again. But then in high school as well, I was able to take a couple other computer science courses, and they were both AP computer science courses where I could do the coding that I wanted. And I was very lucky to have one of my teachers, my AP Computer Science A teacher, be a woman. And she served as one of my very first mentors in high school. And I remember in my AP Computer Science A teacher, my AP Computer Science A class, there were about 50 to 55 people in that class. And there were only, I think, about 3 or 4 people that were women. And I thought that was, a coincidence. This year, just, this class must be very competitive. Not a lot of people must get into here. So, it's probably the boys that like got it over the women, and more women probably applied to get this course, but they just didn't get it. And I had these discussions with my teacher, and she said, actually, Ume, this is actually what happens every single year. It only ever gets worse from here. And I was shocked, because I didn't think it could get worse. I was like, no way, like in the actual industry, women aren't represented. No way, I am going to be the only woman on my team if I ever do pursue software engineering. I grew up loving math, and I, ended up loving coding in middle school, and I had incredible mentors and teachers that would encourage me. And so I just wondered, how can other young women not love it as much as I do? And I realized that this came from a privileged experience, because like I said, I had so many folks in my life that pushed me to be the best that I could be, from, even my fourth grade math teacher that kind of like that from fourth grade on, I was solidified in the fact that, I definitely want to do something in the mathematics field. And it was because of my fourth grade teacher. And then, my brother, who encouraged me to pursue computer science, to even my computer science A teacher. So it was a privileged perspective. And then this is what actually, encouraged me to start a Girls Who Code chapter. And, my advocacy for DE and I really began like from this point, and till forever, and today, and for the rest of my life probably. And so I was able to teach coding in a non-traditional classroom setting, because in my head I thought, okay, people probably don't want to take these classes because they, they're scared. They don't want the pressures of a classroom setting. They don't want the grades associated with it. So how can I make this fun? How can I make this something that, young women will actually want to do, rather than something they feel like they might have to do? So this was a setting where there were no grades, no pressure, just fun and coding. And I noticed that there was a growing passion from just being in this club. A lot of girls that were in this club the following year ended up taking computer science classes, because they realized coding can be fun. when you have people that are encouraging you, and you have people that are uplifting you. And so I thought to myself, well, maybe I could start from an earlier age as well. And so then I started this Girls in STEM club, and this was catered towards elementary school girls. And I hosted STEM workshops that were fun but also insightful. So, and I concluded that, it was possible to get underrepresented folks interested in tech. They really just needed that push of motivation. And I wanted to serve as that mentor, as that uplifter, as that motivator that I also had. So, and that following summer, I ended up joining this incredible org that I'm involved with till this day called Code with Classy. And I was introduced to a community of girls that were passionate about the same things as me, and a place where I could look for mentors that were not only well off into their careers, but also wanted the best for me. And that was really hard to find as a girl who was trying to find her way into this really, really, really competitive field that I wasn't even represented in. And so, although this was, just the beginning of my tech journey, and I've talked a lot about, how I found my way into advocacy, how into like advocating for DE, and I do want to take a pause here, because one of the biggest things that I've mentioned throughout this entire journey so far is the idea of mentorship. Without active mentors throughout my academic career, I probably would have given up way, way long ago. I would have probably given up in middle school after I wrote my first few lines of code. If someone did not tell me I could do this for the rest of my life, and that it was possible for me to succeed, I probably would have given up. Without mentors pushing me every single day, I probably wouldn't even be here in front of you all, talking to you all about, finding your perfect place and finding your way through the tech industry. And so the reason I'm so adamant about stressing the importance of mentorship is because I've realized how greatly it's affected me and helped me break into tech as well. So, I encourage you all to really just look for mentors, look for people that are in a career field that you might want to pursue tech in. Maybe a career field that you might not know what it holds, you might not know what it looks like, but it's something that you're just curious about, right? And curiosity is one of those things that I think is the greatest thing that we all as humans hold, because that means that we're willing to learn and we're willing to grow, and that is the biggest gift that you have, and the biggest thing that will help you into finding your perfect place. I have this friend of mine, his name is Ben, and he always gives this incredible analogy for mentors. And he says, in life, you should have three different people. One person who, is above you, who serves as a mentor figure, someone who, can help pull you up, can help you grow. But also, you should have someone who's around the same level as you, someone who you can bounce ideas like off of, someone who you can just share hardships with, because you're probably going through the same things as them. And then also someone that you can also help pull up, because at the end of the day, having these three people in your circle is truly, truly, truly going to help you grow as not only a professional, but also in this tech industry. I've found how important mentors are in my career, and how important they've been in my journey thus far. And I don't think I would have been able to explore all of the different possibilities, explore what DE and I had in store for me, explore maybe what software engineering had in store for me, had it not been for so many incredible people in my life uplifting me, but me also helping others, and giving back as well. And so, I really like wish for you all, like, one of the biggest things is, no matter what you want to do, whether it's build a startup, all it takes is an idea, but it also takes an incredible mentor. If you want to pursue software engineering, you really just need that one like that idea of curiosity. You want that idea to the idea to grow. Having a growth mindset is so important, but also having a mentor is so, 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 so crucial. And if you have an incredible mentor in your circle, I can guarantee you, if you take this opportunity, whether it's now, networking with people here, networking with people on LinkedIn, at conferences, at networking events, in person or virtually, just take this opportunity right now to find people that, resonate with your message, with your brand, with, what you want to accomplish. And I promise you, you will end up finding your perfect place in tech. And that is everything on my end. If anyone has any questions, I would be more than happy to answer. And thank you all.
Thank you. I got to say, I love the message. I personally work as an independent, not in a company, but I very much found, like you, getting involved in going to community events and talking with other people in the similar, in a similar vein of work, if you like, similar area, has been really helpful. It does help everyone. So thank you for what you're doing as well.
Yeah, I would love it if anybody would like to come off camera or off mute and participate. I know this is a big topic, especially for a lot of us. I love to talk about this topic, and Umi, that was super helpful. I loved hearing about your background, and it's kind of interesting hearing it from somebody who claims they have a privileged position from coming in from an empowerment side, as opposed to coming in from not being empowered in that area. So that's a great perspective. Dan, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, thanks. Ume, I was wondering if you had heard of I Am Remarkable, which came out of Google.
No, I'm not. Could you tell me a little bit more about it?
Sure. I Am Remarkable was founded as one of those Google 20% projects by Anna Vanner, and it's just involved with women and underrepresented folks realizing that self-advocacy and accomplishments don't speak for themselves. And it's a facilitation that is provided by now a NGO. So it moved out of Google into its own nonprofit or non-governmental organization. And I got certified in February, and it seems to fit into a lot of the things you talked about with, not only how do you get into this industry, but then how do you make sure people know about, the accomplishments or the awards you've been given, those types of things. Should definitely check it out. IamRemarkable.org, I think will redirect you to Remarkably.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wrote it down. I will definitely check it out. Thank you so much.
No problem. Great presentation, by the way. Learned a lot. Loved your graphics.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Questions, comments?
Yes, I'll jump in. I just wanted to say it was really nice to hear your story. I started very young too, in like high school, so in IT. So it's good to see that it's more people are starting that young and really getting into it. And I was also very lucky on my path as well, and had some really great mentors. So you just did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It is really, when I went to college, I actually struggled a lot because although I had mentors, I didn't quite realize how much of a gatekeepy culture it was, studying computer science, because I thought that, people would want to help each other, but like it's the complete opposite. And I found that everyone only ever sees themselves as like each other as competition. And I really didn't like that at all, because I thought to myself that a lot of people don't even know what they want to do in high school. I mean, I was very lucky that I wanted to know, that I knew. I've always been the kind of person that like planned her life out, so I always knew that I wanted to go into CS. But a lot of people go into college and they might take a 1 or 2 CS classes, but if they experience a community that is toxic and that is gatekeepy, then I don't know how much that is helping. It's probably only hurting, DE&I initiatives and things like that. So I do try my best to also, mentor not only like high school students, but especially college students, because of these very toxic cultures that are so prominent in universities.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'll add on that. I know one of the things that I took an active role in about, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago, and I think many of you guys probably are here because of that, is that I look for somebody that I don't recognize at every event I go to, at everything I do, and I say, hey, I don't know who you are. Would you like to be part of the community? And I want to foster that kind of openness and community spirit. And so I definitely encourage all of you guys to not be nervous about that. Like, if you recognize somebody you don't know, or if you want to sit down next to somebody you haven't talked to before, for exactly the reasons that just brought up, I think sometimes it's not because we're gatekeeping. It's not because we don't want to invite people. I think it's because we're afraid this community and this particular industry has a lot of more introverts, I think, than extroverts, just, by numbers. And so I think that introverts tend to be a little bit shy around new people, and that's a big struggle that we face. So any of you guys that are feeling like super confident at any event, just remember that somebody said that to you at one point. So go find somebody you don't know and ask how maybe you can help them, or if you can connect them to somebody that they don't already know, to kind of, keep that door open. Yeah, Betsy Weber says make a U.
I'll say I have really good friends from just meeting at events, including that lady who was just talking.
Yeah. Yeah, I would also echo that. Sharon's one of the best at, pulling people in and making them feel welcome in a community. It's great.
I love our community. I think it's great. I think it gives opportunity, and I definitely saw the struggle of this. You can't get into tech if you're not into tech. Paradigm. And so I think that, all of us should be ambassadors to stand by the door and open it for those that are interested to coming in.
I was going to say, I was just Sharon's neighbor, and unbeknown to me, a DM conversation turned into a friendship, which turned into me being pulled out of healthcare into tech. So, I mean, you never know who you're going to speak to and what it's going to lead to.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Any questions? Any feedback? I love this group. Makes me happy. Hi, Terrence.
Hi, long time lurker, first time joiner. I was at an event last night, a local cloud and networking tech group, and we had a speaker called Areti Iles. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name correctly or not, but I just popped her LinkedIn into the chat, and she gave a very good talk on what are the myths that keep women from wanting to enter a role in tech, and what are the myths that make them leave tech. So there's a problem with well, one it was quite funny. One of the chaps there said, I'm a company owner and I'd like to recruit women, but we just don't see the talent pool. And Areti said, all right, are you tasking your recruiters to bring you 50% female resumes? And he was very quiet for quite a long time. And so it's just sort of lots of little incremental things that that I think men, especially from point of view of changing attitudes, changing what we teach our kids is possible. Deconstructing preconceived gender roles and assignments. Don't play with that. That's a boy's toy. And it's something I've kind of been thinking about and doing, as much as I hate the cliche, but like doing internal work on challenging my perceptions, because I've considered myself a pretty open-minded guy for a long time, but still occasionally catch myself, oh, why am I thinking that? That's not really true or right or fair. And being part of communities like this just helps me kind of reinforce and someone's trying to call me. No, James. Yeah, and just kind of rewire my brain, really. And I think that's something that if I could be so prescriptive as to say men definitely need to kind of unlearn those toxic thoughts and behaviors that's just programmed into us from when we're kids. And also for women, and again, I realize I'm generalizing, but as a generalization, to think beyond what's possible. So some of the stuff Areti spoke about in her chat are these myths of, you've got to be good at math. Well, maybe for some specialist IT careers, but actually there's a lot of adjacent careers, or even what we'd consider tech careers, where you don't. I mean, I'm not very good at math, and I was a systems engineer. I was a trainer. I'm doing adoption and change management now, where I don't need any of that stuff, but there are careers there, and I'm very happy to say that I'm working in a team where my boss is a woman, and all my 3 team members are women, and it's great, the kind of diversity of opinion, and all the good stuff that people say is, these are going to be benefits of having a diverse team. I find it all to be true. So I realize I've spoken quite a lot, but yeah, basically just happy to be here. Really enjoyed the chat. And I've not got to phone back that guy that tried to call me, so I've got to drop off. But thanks for having me.
Thanks, Terrence. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, guys. Well, have a lovely summer, and hopefully this was just a fun, light meeting to inspire you and keep you going. And we'll be back next month with more fun and more info and more community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.